true leaders understand that the best thing about speaking the truth is that you don't have to remember what you said, especially if you have evidence. Coming up. Julius Malema has implicated Naledi Pandor on VBS scandal, claiming that she was involved on VBS bond for her house. Whoops. I hope and believe that Malema is speaking the truth and that he has an evidence for this, failure of which this will look very bad for him. Check this out.
What about Brian? I mean, I don't know if he's a member of the organization, but he's had to pay back over 4 million rand back to people who are handling what's happened with VBS now. You are the people that are fighting for those that have benefited anyhow to be held accountable. Have you asked Brian the questions like that, Floyd Shivambu's younger brother?
No. It's not my place. Why should I go around asking members about what they are doing? You are right. You are saying people are being held accountable. And when I heard that is paying back the money, that is part of being held accountable. Zuma paid back the money. Zuma also paid the VBS, if he did, a bond, which he got. Naledi Pandor was also in the VBS bond or something, which she was there. They are your darlings. You will never know their names. You know the names of those you don't like to demonstrate there's no principle. Many names, a lot of names are there. This is just used to blackmail people. When they try to speak, they say, we'll release this thing about you. So if he paid, good for him. That is part of being held accountable. It means he got the money, because this is a transaction between companies and banks. And then the curators said, we want our money. You know, curators asked even the king of the Bavenda king, do you know Malema? When they called him in a hearing, how do you know him? How did he get into the VBS? And he came back shocked that, how do I get questioned half a day about you and how I know you when we have because it was a political witch hunt, which I defeated, which I will still defeat. They are going to come out of that thing of VBS one by one. They are going to eat each other through Batoi in the NPA, because she says these people are accusing me. Even my friends internationally are laughing at me that I've come into this position, I've not done anything. Doing anything is to go after prominent politicians that are found in Zondo Commission, which we don't have a problem with. Those are their own problems. Well,
Naledi Pandor was not impressed at all. And she couldn't wait. She just called Clement immediately and said, Clement, I wanna respond to this. I want everyone to hear my side of the story. Listen to this.
Naledi Pandor on the line, the former Minister of International Relations. And before I bring her on, in case you missed what Julius Malema, the leader of the EFF, said about her, this is what he said.
Naledi Pandor was also in the VBS bond or something, which she was there. They are your darlings. You will never know their names. You know the names of those you don't like to demonstrate there's no principle. Many names, a lot of names are there. This is just used to blackmail people. When they try to speak, they say, we'll release this thing about you.
So this is what Julius Malema said. And as you can hear there, when he said it, it surprised me because I've never seen any reference of Naledi Pandor to the VBS scandal. And I have really followed the VBS scandal very closely from the time when I was even a field reporter, where I was reporting on it and going to press conferences. I read Thierry Motaung's report, all of it. I don't remember ever seeing the reference. And as I was getting surprised there, and he said, yeah, you're surprised because these are your media darlings. You never ask questions about them. Well, let's hear from Dr. Naledi Pandor now, who's joining us on the line. Dr. Pandor, thank you for making time for us. Good morning.
Good morning, Clemens, and thank you very much for accepting my request. that I come onto your show to clear up this matter. I also hope I'll have an opportunity on the very show that Mr. Malema was on.
Yes.
Because I'm sure the public is wondering. I mean, I've never had a bond from VBS or from any bank outside of Cape Town, because my home is Cape Town, I bank in Cape Town, and that's where I've had a mortgage from.
Yes,
so
and
I just don't know where this VBS story comes from. And I, have never said a negative thing about Mr. Malema. So I must say, as a leader of a political party represented in Parliament, I'm disappointed that he would just be so dishonest in this way. It's absolutely shocking, and I can only call it a very weak attempt at attempting to besmirch my good name.
So, and yes, Dr. Pandor, we will in fact have you as well tomorrow to give you that right of reply so you can clarify, because as you can hear, there are a lot of people that were shocked to hear that, because it was the first time ever that there's a link that is being made between you and the VBS scandal. When did you hear about it? And I mean, what was the first thing you thought of?
I landed at home here at the airport an hour and a half ago, coming from Canada. And the lady at the airport asked me about it, and I was stunned. So I asked my former media liaison to send me the clip, and I've just seen it. And I don't know what had happened to the gentleman, why he felt he has to insert my name into the scandal. I think he's probably disappointed that in all my life as a politician, I have not done a single thing that is dishonest. And I'm really astounded. And I wish he would come back. I wish you'd asked him to provide you with proof, because for a person of his stature to make such an allegation without providing any evidence to support his claim, all one can assume it's an attempt to tarnish.
To be clear, Dr. Pandor, you have never even applied for a loan at VBS or whatever.
No, I first heard of VBS in the media. As I say, I live in Cape Town. That's my home. The home I own is in Cape Town. So, is there a branch of VBS in Cape Town? I don't even know. But I categorically state in public that Mr. Malema has not been honest and has actually besmirched my name.
Are you going to be trying to get a hold of him? What's your next step? So beyond just clarifying in the public, do you think you would want to have a chat with him?
No, I'll clarify to the public. I believe the public knows who often tells the truth and who doesn't. So I will leave it up to yourselves. Really, I would have asked him questions. I wouldn't have let the statement just lie as it is.
Yeah, look, I mean, there were pressures of time at the time. I mean, I was very surprised. I said to him, what? And then he says, yeah, you're going to be surprised because these are your media darlings. And then he went on, but we were...
absolutely untrue. We're not a media darling at all.
Yeah.
But, as I say, I think, he was clutching at straws because he was under pressure probably in your interview.
Thank you so much for making time for us, Dr. Pandor. I really appreciate you making time to come through. This is what Julius Malema said yesterday, and this was literally in the last minute, probably, of that conversation, because the directors were kicking me in the ear, literally, because I had overgone by probably another 2-3 minutes of the interview. And he makes that fleeting statement. And when I was surprised, because it was the first time I ever heard Naledi Pandor being linked to VBS, and he says, yeah, you will be surprised because these are your media darlings. I did tell the producers this morning to get a hold of the EFF to check if they, is there a substantiation? So that we give them an opportunity to also say, this is what we are basing that claim on. And as soon as they are able to respond, the EFF comms team, I'll tell you what their response is. But yeah, Naledi Pandor requested this morning to come and clarify the matter here.
Now, the big question in everyone's mind now is this. Is Malema telling the truth? Number two, does Malema have evidence about this? Failure of which he is going to lose credibility and Naledi Pandor is gonna sue him sky high. She's not gonna let this one go. Personally, I hope Malema is wrong, guys. I like Naledi Pandor very much. I know that ANC is full of corrupt leaders. That I'm aware of very well, but there are these two leaders that I like very much from the ANC. Naledi Pandor and Togotitiza, our national speaker. Oh man, I love those two women. If Naledi Pandor be found wanting or somehow involved in this VBS scandal, personally, I'll be very disappointed. And if you were to ask me about this VBS scandal and the ANC and EFF involvement, by the look of things, it seems like the departure of Floyd from EFF to MK has shifted the VBS attack point from EFF. And I think more and more ANC leaders who have been protected all this time in as far as VBS is concerned, now those leaders will be coming out one by one. I'm not saying that Lady Pandor is guilty or whether she was involved or not, but when I look at this VBS thing, it seems like one by one, all the ANC leaders who were protected, by the way, on this VBS scandal, those who were involved in the VBS scandal, they will be coming out one by one. And look at our Justice Minister, Thembi Simelane. She's also out. Ask yourself, why are they attacking her now? Or why are they revealing her now? Yet her involvement with VBS is low. I mean, happened in 2020. But because at that time the focus was on EFF, the VBS attack was on EFF. She was protected. But now that Floyd has shifted, all the ANC leaders who were involved in VBS on VBS scandals are coming out one by one. Again, I'm not saying that lady is involved or was involved in this. I'm just saying those who were involved will definitely be coming out and the truth will be revealed. What do you think? Let me hear your comment below and please don't forget to subscribe.